Hello, my name is Troy Grandy. I am a technical support engineer with One Identity. Today, we're going to talk about One Identity Manager and how to check that auto update is enabled. This video will cover how to check that auto update is enabled. First, let's navigate to the installation directory, Program Files, One Identity Manager. First tool we're going to look at here is Designer. Let's open that up. And once it opens here, it's going to prompt us for authentication. Let's go ahead and put in an applicable username and password. Once entered, click on Connect. And once this is loaded, on the left-hand side under Navigation, we're going to click on Edit Configuration Parameters. And we'll wait for this to load. First thing we want to look at is Common, then Auto Update. As we can see, it is automatically enabled once installed. We'll also notice that there are two sub-configuration parameters: allow out-of-time apps and service update type. The allow out-of-time apps is default set to 0, and basically what that means is that if an update has been done, it will automatically stop the front-end tool that the end user is using and restart it, and it'll update the files within. For this, there are three other values that can be set: 1, 2, or 3. And this means that the end user that has a front-end tool open will get a prompt that an update is required, and they can ignore that prompt, and they can ignore it up to 1, 2, or 3 times. And after that time, it'll automatically shut down the front-end tool and update it for the user. The next configuration parameter we're looking at is service update type. The service update type, as we can see here, is set to auto out of the box. This configuration parameter controls how the job server is updated, and there is 3 settings for this down below. First one is auto. This means all root servers are filled straight from the database. A process is set up in the job queue for all leaf servers. The root servers must have a direct database connection for this method. Next one we'll see here is DB. That basically means the files are loaded straight from the database, and we implement this procedure if all job servers have a direct connection to the database. And lastly, queue. That basically is a process just for distributing files. It's queued in the job queue itself and distributed into that job server. There's another setting that we need to look at here in Designer. It's going to be for the job servers. So let's go ahead and click on Add Job Server. And that'll start the editor here. And it should load up the job servers that are currently enabled. And what we'll do is we'll look at our first option here. We'll see 613 HDB, and we can see that there's an option here that says no automatic software update. And basically what that means is if an update has taken place, let's say someone's upgraded the product to a newer version, this job server will get ignored from that update. It will not get those update files. Next, let's check the auto update setting for the web host. So let's close Designer. And let's go into our installation directory. And we're going to go back to root of C. I'm going to go to initpub, www.root, identity manager, or this will be the equivalent of whatever your website is named. We're going to go into bin, and we're going to open up webdesigner.config file editor. And this is going to ask us for the web.config. Let's click on open. It's then going to prompt us for credentials. And we're going to just put in the applicable password. And we'll give that a moment to connect to the database. Now that it's connected, let's click on automatic update option here. And we can see by default, enable automatic updates is checked. And we can see that we are using the IIS credentials for that update. And that's it for Web Designer, now that we know that that web application is enabled for automatic updates. Lastly, we can check the job queue, which will show which job servers and which web servers have the automatic update enabled. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back into Program Files. We're going to go to One Identity Manager, and Job Queue Info. Let's open that up. And we'll get prompted for credentials here. Again, let's just enter applicable username and password. And we'll wait for that to load. At the bottom here, we'll see job server state. And we can see we have a couple options here. We'll just expand these. We can see that there's no auto update, and these are unchecked for both of my current job servers. And this goes back to what we've seen in Designer, that the no automatic software update is unchecked. For that job server, we'll see that same status here. Now let's check the web servers. As we can see, here's my web server, and we can see that the auto update is set to active. And this goes back to what we saw in webdesigner.config file editor, where we saw that the auto update was also set. This concludes this video. Thank you for watching. To learn more about Identity Manager, please visit support.oneidentity.com.